In 2019, a surprising sixth-round rookie Gardner Minshew made headlines after taking over for the Jacksonville Jaguars. His moxy and leadership had fans replicating the mustache and headband look as Minshew Mania swept through the league. Minshew has shown potential and could be the future in Jacksonville, but odds are that he won't. The youngster has little to no talent around him, and the Jaguars seem to have their eyes set on the 2021 NFL Draft. Minshew is a future NFL starter, but the Jaguars are just wasting his talent. Before we jump into Gardner Minshew, I'd like to take a second to acknowledge that the majority of our viewers aren't subscribed to the channel. Jackson and I are both college students and hope to one day make this our full-time job. So please, if you do enjoy, consider subscribing and helping our journey here on YouTube. Thank you and enjoy the video. Gardner Minshew, who attended 4 different colleges and almost ended up as a graduate assistant at Alabama, had one of the wildest journeys to the NFL spotlight. Let's take a look at his unpredictable rise to fame. Gardner Flint Minshew II was born on May 16, 1996 in Flowood, Mississippi. Minshew attended Brandon High School, where he spent all 4 years on varsity. He gained the starting job as a sophomore and led the Bulldogs to a 6A Mississippi championship. In 4 seasons, Minshew recorded 9,705 yards, 88 touchdowns, and 24 interceptions. 24/7 Sports ranked him as a 3-star recruit and ranked him as the 70th pro-style quarterback in the class. Minshew committed to play college football at Troy University, but after a single academic semester, he decided to transfer to Northwest Mississippi Community College. He spent 1 year at junior college, passing for 3,288 yards and 28 touchdowns, and leading the Rangers to the NJCAA National Championship. In 2016, Minshew transferred to East Carolina University. He played sparingly in his first season with the Pirates, starting in 2 games and recording 1,347 yards and 8 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Minshew got the chance to get solid playing time as a junior, but still split time alongside Thomas Sirk. Minshew began turning some heads late in the season, after passing for over 350 yards in 3 consecutive contests. He finished the year with 2,140 yards and 16 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Minshew, following graduation, decided to transfer. Minshew had a goal of staying in football in some capacity after his time playing in college. Like many coaches start off, he almost became a graduate assistant at Alabama. Nick Saban hoped to have Minshew as a backup in 2018 in case Tua Tagovailoa or Jalen Hurts transferred. After his final year of eligibility, Minshew was going to become a graduate assistant for the Crimson Tide. As you know, Minshew isn't holding a clipboard on the Alabama sideline. Mike Leach in Washington State came knocking, hoping to lure Minshew. Leach was successful after telling Minshew, "Do you want to go to Alabama and hold a clipboard, or do you want to come here and lead the nation passing?" Minshew jumped on the opportunity and enrolled at Washington State University as a graduate student. He led the Cougars to a school record 11 wins and an Alamo Bowl victory. He didn't lead the nation in passing like Leach predicted, finishing second to Dwayne Haskins. Minshew did, however, win Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year after leading the nation in attempts, completions, and yards per game. He also finished 5th in Heisman voting. He had 4,776 yards and 38 touchdowns to 9 interceptions on the season. Minshew was a forgotten graduate transfer before 2018. He made a name for himself with Washington State and garnered attention for his passionate leadership and charisma, something that's been on display in the pros. He showed his ability to make accurate passes and that he can use his legs to extend plays. However, scouts were still skeptical of Minshew. He played in the most quarterback-friendly scheme in the nation and has average at best arm strength. His smaller 6'1", 225-pound stature also isn't ideal for a pro quarterback. Minshew was widely considered an at best backup quarterback. Heading into the 2019 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars were coming off an awful 5-11 season and decided to let go of former first-round selection Blake Bortles. The move was followed up by signing free agent Nick Foles, 1 year removed from winning Super Bowl MVP with the Eagles, to a 4-year, $88 million deal. The Jaguars, in a move for a cheap backup option to Foles, used the 178th pick in the 6th round on Minshew. The Foles experiment lasted less than a quarter after he went down with a shoulder injury, throwing Minshew into the fire in Week 1 against the Chiefs. Minshew set the record for passing completion in a debut with a wild 88% after completing 22 of 25 passes for 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. The Jaguars lost, but the future was thrown into the hands of Minshew after it was announced that Foles had a broken clavicle. Minshew secured his first career victory in Week 3, passing for 204 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Titans. Minshew had a historic start to his career. His 73.8% completion and 110.6 passer rating are both records for a player through their first 3 games. He went on to be named NFL Offensive Rookie of the Month for September. Through his first 9 contests, Minshew recorded 2,285 yards and 13 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions. interceptions. Foles recovered and was activated off injured reserve in November. The Jaguars made a controversial decision to allow Foles to return to his starting job over Minshew. Foles lost 2 straight games before going into a Week 12 matchup against the Buccaneers. In the game, Foles completed only 7 of 14 passes and threw a pick, along with fumbling twice. The Jaguars trailed 25-0 at half and decided to bench Foles, where he stayed for the remainder of the season. Minshew played a total of 14 games on the season, passing for 3,271 yards and 21 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. All 3 were franchise rookie records, among other figures like his 60.6% completion and 91.2 passer rating. Fans quickly took to the young, moxy quarterback not only because of his play on the field, but his fashion sense. I mean, look at those jorts. His sunglasses and headbands set fashion trends along with that iconic mustache. The Jaguars even gave out 35,000 mustaches ahead of a game in October. Additionally, 10 people who cut their jeans into jorts were given Minshew jerseys. Along with that cool demeanor, Minshew showed extreme leadership and passion on the field and in the locker room for the Jaguars. The success of Minshew, along with the disappointment of Foles, led to the Jaguars trading away Foles to the Bears for a compensatory pick. Now Minshew, at least for 2020, is the guy in Jacksonville. Minshew, like any young quarterback, still has a lot to clean up if he hopes to become a franchise talent. While Minshew was great at not turning over the ball through the air, he struggled with fumbles. He fumbled 13 times in 14 games. He was tied for 4th most in the league, 3 behind Carson Wentz and 5 behind fellow rookie Daniel Jones. Minshew certainly hasn't benefited from playing behind one of the weaker offensive lines in the NFL. Andrew Norrell at left guard is good, but is overpaid. Right tackle Jawan Taylor is entering his 2nd season after a solid rookie year, and Brandon Linder is a good option at center. With question marks on the line already, left tackle Cam Robinson and right guard AJ Cann struggled at times in 2020. The biggest obstacle for Minshew in 2020 is going to be the pieces around him. The Jaguars are widely considered the worst of all 32 NFL teams in power rankings, and their roster is weak compared to the rest of the league. The teardown of their roster this offseason included trading away defensive end Calais Campbell to the Ravens and shipping off cornerback AJ Boye to the Broncos. These moves make one thing clear: the Jaguars are prioritizing draft capital over talent. Instead of building around their young quarterback who showed some promise as a rookie, Jacksonville is looking ahead at the 2021 NFL Draft, a draft set to have big names like Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. The Jaguars have shown clear willingness to give up on a quarterback fast, and if they have any doubt that Minshew isn't their future star, the draft can answer those concerns. Things only are set to get worse this season in Jacksonville, with defensive end Yannick Ngakoue planning to hold out and head coach Doug Marrone on the hot seat after 2 consecutive miserable seasons. Additionally, arguably Minshew's best offensive weapon, running back Leonard Fournette, is likely to be traded before the season as Jacksonville looks to move on. The only real talent Minshew is sure to have in 2020 is 3rd-year wide receiver DJ Chark, who recorded over 1,000 yards in 2019. If the Jaguars did decide that Minshew is their guy, they're going to have to rebuild on the fly as the 24-year-old enters the 2nd year of his rookie deal. Gardner Minshew has the potential to become a franchise quarterback. For any young player, especially a late-round quarterback, they need pieces around them to succeed. Minshew not only doesn't have talent around him, but the franchise seems to have their eyes set on the 2021 NFL Draft. Minshew is a talented guy, and I, for one, don't want Minshew Mania to ever end.